was heavy with silence. Journalists leaned forward, cameras buzzed quietly in the corners, and the world seemed to hold its breath. Standing at the podium was General Michael Langley, a man known for his stern presence and commanding voice. But today, his shoulders sagged slightly. His face carried the burden of something more than leadership. It carried regret. It had all started 3 months earlier. In a high-profile conference about African affairs, Langley had made remarks about Burkina Faso that were seen as dismissive, even insulting. Words that painted the nation as weak, struggling, and unstable. His comments, perhaps said without full thought, rippled like a storm across the world. News headlines blared outrage. Social media erupted. But the most stinging response came from a young but fiercely respected leader, Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso. Ibrahim, barely in his 30s, had risen to national fame for his courageous stance against foreign exploitation and his dream of building a truly independent Burkina Faso. His heart beat for his people. When he heard Langley's comments, he responded not with anger, but with a heartfelt speech that reached millions. We are not weak, we are rising, and our dignity is not up for negotiation. The world listened, under mounting pressure. Michael Langley could have ignored it, brushed it off like so many officials before him. But something changed. Deep inside, he felt the weight of what he had done. His own son, half African by birth, had come to him one evening, holding an article in his small hands. "Dade," he said, "why are you making fun of them? They are just trying to be free." Those words broke something inside Michael Langley that military battles and diplomatic wars never could. And so he stood now in front of the world to say something that few powerful men ever dare to say: "I was wrong." As he cleared his throat, the camera zoomed closer. The general's voice, usually sharp and commanding, trembled as he began. "Today, I am not standing here as a general. I stand here as a man, as a father, and as someone who has learned the hard way that words have power. A power I misused." He paused, the silence hanging thickly around him. "I want to publicly apologize to the people of Burkina Faso. But more than that, I want to apologize personally to a man who represents hope, pride, and an unbreakable spirit. Ibrahim Traoré, I am sorry." The doors at the back of the hall opened, and there he was, Ibrahim Traoré, walking slowly toward the stage. The young leader wore his signature red beret, a symbol of resistance and resilience. His face was unreadable, but his eyes carried the depth of 1,000 silent battles. As Ibrahim approached, the audience rose to its feet, a spontaneous standing ovation breaking the tension. Langley stepped down from the podium, moving toward him, unsure what would happen next. Would he be rebuked? Would the apology be rejected? Ibrahim stopped just a few feet away. For a long moment, neither man spoke. Then Ibrahim did something no one expected. He smiled softly, warmly, and opened his arms. Without hesitation, Michael Langley embraced him. The cameras flashed wildly, journalists scrambling to capture this historic moment. But none of the flashes could capture the rawness, the realness of what was happening between these two men. Two symbols of old wounds and new hopes. When they finally pulled apart, Ibrahim took the microphone. His voice was steady, but thick with emotion. "Leadership," he said, "is not measured by the mistakes we make, but by the courage it takes to admit them and change." Today, General Langley has shown that courage. The challenges they had faced were not just political, but deeply human. Michael Langley had to wrestle with his pride, his upbringing, the indoctrinated superiority that had been ingrained in him. Ibrahim had to battle resentment, distrust, and the anger of a people wronged too many times by outside voices. Yet here they were, breaking the chains of bitterness with something stronger: forgiveness. Langley stepped back to the microphone one last time. His eyes were misty. We talk about building bridges between nations, but bridges are not built with policies alone. They are built with moments like this, with humility, with respect, with heart. The crowd erupted into applause, but it was different now. It wasn't just polite clapping. It was the kind of applause that rises from deep within, born from the knowledge that something truly important had just happened.